so Bobby Knight made transition.
Oh yeah.
Hall of Fame basketball player, was 81 years old. MAGA Bob Knight, Indiana. I knew him because I watched when Isaiah Thomas was in college playing, and I also remember, was it Keith Smart that he spanked? And then he used to threw a chair once, and never
Shoved a couple people, yeah.
shove some folk and spank grown black men.
Yelled a little bit. He yelled
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little, yeah.
So let me ask y'all this, both of you, because Rod covers sports. Is that just the time that we lived in? Because I remember when coaches could get in people's faces and spit and slap them and push them and shove them, and we accepted it by and large as a society, right? Today, you would definitely lose your job. So is it the times? Are we being unfair to the Bobby Knights because everybody was doing it, or should that never have happened to begin with?
I would say it's not being unfair because even at the time, he was known as the extreme guy during that time, which tells you about how hard he went. Like if we're saying everybody doing it, if Coach K died tomorrow, we wouldn't be like, man, remember how he used to yell at the players? But Bobby, and then there's the scandals around it, video from practices and stuff that just lingered on. And I think as time changed, Bob was like, I'm not going to change. And it just made it even harder to look past it for a lot of people.
Okay, what you think, Lamont? Is this Gen X versus Gen Z?
Not really. He's old enough. It was 83. I mean, he's old enough to for his career to span every example of what we're talking about. So he was the literal tipping point. It was him. Okay. He did what everybody else did, but he did it on camera. So the moment society said, hey, this is no longer okay, they pointed the finger at the last thing that he did, which cost him his job. And I think it was the when he actually put his hands on the guy during the timeout, pushed him in the chest, and then grabbed him and then gave him a little headbutt. And it was like, we had seen it before, but now the society is no longer okay with it. And then now we see you do it and we've all changed. Now you got to go. So he pretty much.
He had the personality of, I'm not going to change. Like his whole thing was, I don't care what y'all doing. So it was just a matter of time. I remember being like, this is going to happen one day. I don't know when, but this dude is not the one to go, oh, times changed, let me chill out.
And it wasn't really that long ago. I mean, he got to Texas Tech at like 06, 07.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, from somebody that coached Isaiah in college, Isaiah Thomas. He spanned a long time. He went a long time without punishment.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is what he said. He was I think it was Hall of Fame speech when he died. This was what he wanted us to do. Play it, Amina. Bobby Knight. Okay. 866-801-8255. I'm only giving out the number. I'm stalling. Y'all know that. Okay. Give out the number when I'm trying to figure out how to, program it real time. All right, play it.
When my time on earth is gone and my activities here are past, I want they bury me upside down and my critics can kiss my.
Okay. I wonder, did that happen? Did y'all bury Bobby Knight on his?
Did he get what he asked for? Yeah.
Is he buried yet?
I don't know. I want to know. I need some good crack journalist to follow up if indeed buried on his knees. But
he was one of the good ones. He was one of the good old boys. He
was a good old boy. That's true.
He was definitely a good old boy.
I don't know if he was one of the good ones, but he's definitely a good old boy.
He's great coach. But do we really take away from his legacy knowing that he was a good coach? Can we separate the man from his coaching?
Okay. You want to have this conversation?
It's Friday.
You really? All right. It's Friday. All right. So I feel like that there probably were 11 black coaches that would have been better, but they never got an opportunity. Sure. And I feel this way about women's sports as well, that there's an overseer mentality that somehow you got to keep these people in their place and, keep them, where under the thumb, so only certain people can oversee other people's bodies, So I automatically have a visceral reaction to that now that the NBA and the NCAA full of black coaches. But I remember when John Thompson was an anomaly, as if there was something unusual about a black man being able to coach, So I don't know. And I can't blame the coaches, the white male coaches, for taking the jobs, because of course they bought into the same myth and the lie too. They thought they were the best people for the job, but I don't know that was true. So yeah, I don't know if he was a good coach. He was the youngest,
and a lot of these
he was the youngest coach at a Division I school in the history. In 1965, he coached at Army at age 24. He had a winning school record, 661 games. He won at Indiana. He reached the NCAA tournament 24 times in 29 seasons. He was the first NCAA. His first title was in 1976 when Indiana went undefeated. That's a good feat. But again, even in that time, were you playing against the best? Was there a LeBron James type? Was there a Fab Four type? It's like, I just, meh. All right.
I think the other thing I would say for him is, we don't have to separate the coach from his behavior, because I think part of his behavior was his coaching. Like that was his like, if you could put a Bobby Knight picture on a t-shirt and I said pick from every picture of Bobby Knight, it's gonna be a picture of him intently yelling on the sideline at something, him throwing that chair or something like that. So I don't think you can take away from, like, his intensity was why he was the man he was, but also his intensity is why he had the reputation that he had, that he earned. And I don't think it's not very complicated to me or anything. The whole time he was alive, I knew exactly what that man was about.
Yeah.
So it is like when he died, he wouldn't give a damn that we're talking about him right now anyway.
And he was a winner.
Yeah, he won like that. Yeah, it is what it is. Like, it's not saying it's right or better.
America loves winners. You win some games, man, everything is absolved.
And of course, the double standard of the privilege of being a white dude is going to always be there, especially in college athletics. So he benefited from some leeway that a lot of black dudes ain't never going to get. And then of course, like the ones who were fiery, like John Chaney, we was talking about them when they died too. Like we was like, it was a little complicated. We loved him, but yeah, he used to get in people's grips.
Yeah, he was pretty much the same. I mean, he was as a Bob Knight.
Oh, was he
as a coach?
All right, but there's a difference. It's like my mama can touch me, but your mama can't. You understand? Like this, it's almost like
but
like
a coach
family.
ain't supposed to anyway. What I'm saying is, I'm talking about the fire and reckless abandon as a coach on the sideline. John Chaney exhibited the same, similar, if not same, as a Bob Knight. They're from the same era. Is the point I'm making. But
he was coaching his own, his sons.
Temple wasn't no HBCU.
Temple was HBCU. It still is. What are you talking about?
Nah, come on, knock it off.
Come on,
you think about Georgetown now.
Georgetown and Temple are HBCUs, honorary. Come on, stop.
But they were
stop playing.
They were from an era, and in that era, that's what you did. But to Rod's point though, John Chaney caught more flack because I mean,
because they acted like he couldn't coach,
right?
Like it was like bro, he winning games too now. But yeah, I definitely feel like it's a bunch of stuff happening at the same time. It was the time, it was the personality, and of course the reputation.
I run my fingers through her hair as she smiles and says that she loves me. Isn't it lovely when the one who loves thing is the one